It's a very different kind of story. I mean, I think compared to the last one, if the last one was sort of political and about propaganda, and Katniss was, a bit sidelined and being manipulated by the powers, this is the one where she takes control again. She really goes out into the Capitol. It's a real war movie. It's probably the most epic of the bunch, probably the most emotional of the bunch as well, and it's actually the conclusion. So it's where you get the big, satisfying ending of the series. Well, I think that the commitment to making the novel for me was very important. Each of the novels that I worked on, and telling the story appropriately and maintaining the spirit. But I think that I put more pressure on myself than I feel from the fans or from the industry. I just want the movie to be the best movie it can be. So, it just leaves me feeling a bit vulnerable once you put it out there, because obviously then you want people to like it. But that's the pressure that I put on myself. Well, there's parallels, but the truth is, and it's funny enough, is that Jennifer hasn't really changed too much for me. I think day to day on set, working with her, being here on a tour like this, she's not really any different. I mean, I think she definitely has more power in the industry, and she's now getting obviously a stronger voice in the industry, which I think is fantastic. The biggest change is just her having to learn how to navigate the change of the world around her. I think real environments always look better. I think there's no substitute. Sometimes green screen's unavoidable, but ideally you put your actors and your cameras in real environments. It changes everything. It makes the actors need to feel the air and see the buildings and structures, and it informs the photography, and it also sort of raises the level of any digital work you may need to do, because there's so much real that's there in the frame. I think it's really invaluable. I think for me, the idea of the consequence of war and violence and the effects that has and the damage it does in terms of the loss and psychological damage and emotional damage, those were the things that were really interesting for me to explore. Of course, each of the movies were sort of exploring different facets of those themes. To me, that's the kind of overlying theme for the entire series. It was unbelievable to work with somebody like Phil. Everybody, when he was the first person that I cast on Catching Fire, and it was so exciting for him to join the team. And he, like all the others, really just loved the material and loved the ideas in the material. And to get to watch him work was unbelievable, and I learned so much from him. Yeah, I mean, there was always fun. They're always joking around. They have a great time. The great thing about this group is they're very professional. They're very good at what they do, but they can also turn it on and off. And so in between setups, there was always a lot of joking around. I think one of my favorite, I think, pranks on set was one that Jeffrey Wright, who plays Beatty, played on Jennifer, where he got her a present, and it looked like it was from Tiffany's, and she thought it was a piece of jewelry, and she opened it up, and I forget if it was spiders or cockroaches or something that he had put in there to freak her out. And of course, she really didn't like it, and so there was a lot of jokes and practical jokes like that played out on set.